video, I'm going to make my own wire stretcher that'll hook up to the 3-point hitch on my tractor. The reason I'm doing this is I have a 1,500 foot stretch of fence that I need to put up, and I didn't want to do it manually. So in the past, I've just kind of rolled out the rolls by hand, so to speak. I just kick it. Actually, it's pretty tiring, especially if the grass is long or something like that, or you're trying to go around a corner because then you have to pick up the roll and then try to unroll it around the corner, and it's just a real pain. So I figured, I should make something for the tractor that'll make life a ton easier. And well, originally I was planning on buying something, and Tractor Supply had something for like $450. So like, okay, that's not completely unreasonable. But then like it wasn't available, and everything else I saw was like $1,000. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to spend $1,000, but I'll put a few $100s in a couple hours of work into it. And so then I built this unroller here. Now, after using it, there's definitely a few issues with it, I won't lie. So this is version 1.0. If you end up making your own, hopefully you'll take some of the lessons learned and apply it to your project here, and it'll go a little bit smoother. But let me show you. I'm gonna actually build the whole thing on video for you. Speed up the things so that it's not too tediously boring to watch. Welding. So basically, I bought this. I think they call it like some sort of like a rear lift or rear carry thingamabobber from Tractor Supply. It was like $160, and then I basically built something to put the roll onto, and I made it out of some metal that I had laying around, and also some metal that I previously bought for other projects that came from like home. I bought the metal from Home Depot. You could also check out a salvage yard. I think I've talked to one local to me anyways, and they said they would sell me stuff, so if like you see plate or you need to buy something, you might be able to go to salvage yard and just rifle around and find stuff that you want to buy, and they'll probably give you a good deal on it. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Appreciate it. Help support the channel. Check out some of the other videos. We're going to get into making it now. Check towards the end. I'll show you some of the things that what I would do differently if I was to make it again. So I got this from Tractor Supply. The nice thing is it looks like, they advertise as being able to hold, pick up pallets. It already has all the 3-point hitch attachment pieces on it, so that I don't have to do that. It has a hole pattern, on either arm. So I'm going to take advantage of that. Basically what my thought is, I will use 3 holes across here, same on the other side. Build something to bridge that gap, and then be able to have a post that'll go up and hold the wire, roll of wire. Kind of using what was available, around that I had. I could collect scrap metal and various other pieces of metal to do that. So for another project, I'd bought some, I think it's like an 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch thick plate of steel. I'll use that to bridge here, and I can access these 3 holes, and then I'm going to use some angle iron to go across here, and then in the middle I'm going to make a kind of a landing with where the tube can weld up to and the wire can sit. So that's kind of the first step here. So this is some of the material that I have. I have this 1.5 inch angle iron here that I bought from Home Depot for another project. And then I have this, I guess it turns out to be 3/16, so it's like just about an 1/8 inch. Right in between 1/8 inch and a 1/4 inch. Piece of steel here. So this is what I'm going to do, is to kind of bridge those 3 holes that I mentioned earlier. So I'll have to cut this, not quite in half, because I think I need about 14 inches. This is 36 inches. And then the bridge between the 2 pieces is going to be, there's the kitty, cut this. Now I normally wouldn't use angle iron for this project, but I have this available. So kind of my thought is I'd weld it kind of in this position right here, so that this pointy piece is sticking up, and then I'd have to put something across it, make 2 pieces. So I have to cut this approximately in half, and then make kind of a little landing zone here for for where I'll put the tube. So here's that. Here's what I just plasma cut. So it's pretty good. I mean, I think I might have to open up this just a touch in a few spots, but overall should be good. Now I'll clean up the some of the slag here, and then I'll cut the angle iron to length, and then I can start welding. Okay, here you can start seeing it coming together. It's also raining. So you can see this is the parts I just cut. I'll have to clean up some of the holes a little bit here. Here's the angle iron piece that I just cut, and then this is I don't know, it's like 1/8 or 3/16 1/4 inch stuff, similar thickness to here, that I'll put the reel on. Now I have this tube here, you know, collecting random stuff. A friend of mine offered this to me. A ton of this stuff. In fact, it's part of what I use to make my weld bench. So this will then go here. Now I'm debating, I'm thinking what I will do is I'll take 2 of these. I have multiples of these. I'm going to cut this off right here, and put a second one, so maybe that this will be centered, so that just so that it's the wire has something kind of smooth to sit on. But what I think I'm going to do now is go and measure it. But here you go, you can kind of see then. Now this is way too tall. I'll cut this down as well, but yeah, it's coming together. Okay, I got everything cut, so I'm now mocking it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack each piece here, and then I'm going to do a fitment. I did go in on whichever piece it was, can't remember if it was this one or this one, where I just cut a little bit, that the holes open a little bit just to make sure. So all right, let's go ahead and tack this sucker up and see how it looks. Got it welded up. Now, I realized I should have had this clamped earlier. See how I have it clamped on both sides, there and there. I should have done that earlier, because basically what's happening is the warp is causing it to potato chip, you know, so that the ends are coming up. Not the end of the world. This isn't a precision assembly, but would have been good to have had it clamped down on the ends here a little bit, just to prevent this little bit more. But when I add the plates here, it'll help, I think, keep it relatively level. So this is what it's going to look like. Yeah, my garage is a bit of a disaster area. Though I realize, and I kind of knew that this would be a little bit of an issue, is kind of welding up underneath here. It's not going to be fun, but it is what it is. I'll make do. Ooh. Have to weld around here. This is still pretty warm, so I can't rest on it too much. At least I'll tack it in place at first, And then we'll see about how quickly I can start welding it. This will definitely be a little trickier, just going around an arc, just being able to get around such a wide arc, but let's get to it. So now that we got pretty much all welded up, so a couple issues I noticed when I started to load the first roll. I cannot lift a roll onto the tube. So what I ended up having to do is tilt it down and kind of shuffle it on, and then tilt everything back up and then rehook the tractor up. Not ideal. Probably in the future, if I was to do it, I would make it so that the tube is removable and you simply have to get the roll up onto the platform and then maybe slide the tube back down and then lock it in place somehow. Second thing I would change is that there's no way to like tension the wire, like mounted on the carriage. So what I was currently using is a wire structure that I've used in the past. It's just basically 2x4 with like a U-channel. I might try to mount that somehow. So all I have to do then is just bolt to the bolt something like either the 2x4 or the metal plate, and pinch the wire off that way instead of having to try to lift it up and try to finagle it and stuff like that. That might be a lot easier solution in the future. Overall, the project was somewhat interesting. I wish I spent a little bit more time making the fixes that I just mentioned. It definitely helped with my project unrolling the fence, and I'm going to be using it in the future because I have more fence that I need to fix. That would just happen to be one particularly long stretch that I needed to do. So overall, yeah, it worked out okay, better than nothing. So I hope you found the video interesting, and thanks again for watching.